Continuing some pre-draft coverage of prospects as we get nearer to the NFL Combine. Today is the pass catchers, receivers, and tight ends. Let's waste no more time and dive right into it. Beginning with Denzel Boston out of Washington, a large frame receiver that really plays up to be in that big bodied role. Good release paired with great hands and a great catch radius to boot. Tough guy to bring down in space. Washington took advantage of that plenty last year. Can line up basically anywhere, and that really helps with being able to scheme him open. Press release might be of some concern for him, although at his frame and with his catch radius, it shouldn't really impact things all too much. Second gear speed isn't quite there, but when you can turn 50-50 passes into 70-30, you're gonna be fine. Late first seems to be the consensus with him, would fit nicely as that receiver 2 role early and can potentially blossom into that receiver 1. All around, I feel like Denzel Boston is going to be a good fit for a team that already has an established receiver 1 and could use a big bodied guy to be able to capitalize in the red zone area, especially. And again, you can scheme him open pretty easily as well. Zachariah Branch from the University of Georgia is next, a 180 from Denzel Boston. Shorter statue, but with speed that can kill pretty easily. Lined up almost anywhere during his time at USC, was used mostly in the slot at Georgia. Know what you're getting with Branch in terms of the home run play potential. Like most other shorter speed guys, though, he is most effective with a really accurate passer to maximize run the yards after the catch. Also, like some other shorter speed guys, he has the tendency to unnecessarily jump for passes, but that is something that can be tuned on and worked on. Early to mid day 2 projection for him, he has the tendency to also round out his cuts, which can definitely throw off some concepts, but again, something that can be worked on. Will complement well with most offenses. A bonus is that he can also do pretty well in the return game. Going to be a really solid receiver 2 to 1B early on with potential to develop from there. Next is Elijah Surratt, the national champion over there with Indiana, looking to bring that to the next level. Over his time there, he has mastered the back shoulder ball and the slot fade from receiver spot with his connection with Fernando Mendoza. Going to need to be something that gets worked out with whoever his next quarterback is going to be. Great along the boundary with being able to get his feet in bounds at the point of catch. He showed that a plenty because of those back shoulder balls and those slot fades he likes to run. Doesn't quite have the speed to create separation. Because of this, he has turned into a really good contested catcher. Not a traditional deep threat, but because of this, he has fantastic off-frame prowesses. Late second, early third round potential. Going to need to develop the rest of his game if he's going to be a true receiver one day. But slated to be a very solid receiver 2 to receiver 3 early on, and then can be worked on from there. Beginning talking about the tight ends, it is Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt next. A lot was made, especially last year, about him potentially entering the draft. He returned to Vandy one more year and going to be entering it this season. Solid receiving tight end that is going to be able to go up and get high passes really well. This assumes he has the leverage, as he has a record of not really fighting for leverage on those deep passes. Can block fine enough in the slot, isn't as aggressive a run block as you would want for a tight end, however. Also has had the habit of letting off the gas at points of his routes, which leads into him drifting on cuts on those routes. Third round seems to be the spot a lot of people agreeing on with this one. Early on, going to be a tight end 2 with high upside potential of being an every down tight end 1 at one point if he can get more well rounded. Right now, he's a pure receiving tight end, but you would really like to see him get some blocking ability into it. I think he can develop that pretty easily as long as he just hits the offseason well and can go from there. The final name is Joe Royer out of Cincinnati, a project tight end for a team in the early to mid day 3 spot. He needs some polish on most facets of the game as he's excelled with a simple route tree at Cincinnati, and blocking is at a pretty base level. Solid contested catcher that's tough to bring down, but as the routes get more vertical, his speed and catching ability begins to take a hit there for his effectiveness. Can work as a lead blocker in space, but against the more physical defensive players, he has struggled in the past. Could be a red zone passing threat as a tight end 2 or 3. Those short yardage, contested catch areas inside the red zone, that's where he can thrive early on, and then you begin to build the rest of his game from there. He would need to be lined up in a way that provides assistance in blocking for goal line, though, which that could definitely hinder his true involvement in some things. But as a red zone passing threat, he could definitely be an option there and just be a more so short yardage guy early on. I do like some facets of Royer's game, watching him during his time at Cincinnati as someone who watches a lot of UCF football. He's definitely someone that I could definitely see being that true tight end 2 for someone in the future. but a project is a project nonetheless, and it's going to be an interesting project to watch. So that wraps it up. 5 names, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends. Those guys I wanted to bring out there and mention. I'll see you all next time. Subscribe if you're new, is greatly appreciated. Talking about the trenches next time, and I'll see you all there. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.